Good evening and welcome to the Special Faith Nation on how advancing technology is changing the world. I'm John Jessup.
And from the CBN studio in Washington, D.C., I'm Jenna Browder. Americans live in what one expert calls a surveillance prison. We are being tracked by a multitude of groups through the many devices we use.
Vast amounts of our personal data are harvested and sold on the open market, sometimes to our own government. CBN's Dale Hurd has a story.
Many of us are under surveillance at this very moment. No warrants are needed and no laws are broken. The most obvious culprit is all the cameras, and America has as many surveillance cameras per person as communist China. Police departments from New York to LA are combining these cameras with facial recognition technology to track everyone. You're also giving away your personal information about where you are, what you like, even about your mental health, without even realizing it. Every click, purchase, and like is harvested and sold for profit by data brokers, feeding a growing digital advertising market that is close to $1 trillion in value. Even your car tire sensors allow you to be tracked. Byron Tao is the author of Means of Control.
A lot of that data ends up in the hands of data brokers, and those data brokers make that data available for sale to researchers, to marketers, to companies, and even to governments. So it's very, very difficult to escape the kind of logging and surveillance that modern technology brings along with it.
It's being called surveillance capitalism.
The internet is now a prison. It's a surveillance prison. It is owned and operated by private capital.
They want access to our contacts. They want access to our calendars. Well, lots of app developers take that information and they suck it up. They vacuum it up. They know who your friends are. They know where you go. So that kind of information is available for sale.
Your data is also being sold to the police and the federal government. A product called Fog Reveal allows police to create what are called patterns of life on a person and to possibly track them without a warrant. The government is also continuing to use a backdoor in the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, to spy on Americans, which is supposed to be illegal. But what really bothers Dave Moss, the Director of Investigations at the Electronic Frontier Foundation, are all the license plate readers used by police.
This is one of the most pernicious and offensive technologies in the United States. It is misrepresented to the public in such a way that people think it's doing one thing when it's actually doing another. So for your audience, license plate readers are cameras that take a picture of your car and digitize the license plate as well as other elements to it, your bumper sticker, the color, make, model, year, whether you have damage to your vehicle, and uploads that to a central database along with where your car was seen and when. So a police officer can sit down at a computer and type in your license plate and see everywhere across the country that your vehicle was caught on camera, sometimes going back years and years and years.
The license plate reader went off on it and said it was a driver's license restraint. So it looks like on here, so she has a suspended driver's license.
That can be on any screen on the computer, and if it hits on a license plate, it'll pop up.
It doesn't matter whether you are tied to a crime or not, they're capturing it on everyone. And that allows them to track you in real time. They can add you to a watch list and just watch you and get alerts every time you pass a camera.
A Duke University study found that data brokers are also selling lists of people with depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and PTSD, all harvested from medical apps and websites. Constitutional attorney John Whitehead says this is all a clear violation of the Constitution's ban on unreasonable searches and seizures.
The Fourth Amendment's dead because on their phones and their laptops, they have all this information on you. It's called predictive policing, and they're watching everything people are doing.
There have been some ingenious attempts to thwart facial recognition, however, none of these work. The surveillance of Americans is an issue that should unite both the political right and left, because we're all losing an important constitutional protection.
If you care about something, then you should be worried about surveillance. I don't care what the issue is that you care about. It could be gun rights, it could be the rights of Palestinians. If you care about something, surveillance is going to harm your rights.
We asked the FBI if it's still buying the data of Americans. It did not respond. The question is, can Americans roll back the surveillance state when data harvesting is now such a large part of the economy and so little is being done to stop it? The issue has been raised on Capitol Hill, but a new law this year only protects Americans' data from being sold to some foreign governments. Tao says consumers need to realize that most of the apps on their phone are trying to gather data to be sold. Beware of granting apps location permissions. Use only encrypted messaging services and search engines that promise not to track you. You can also delete your phone's advertising ID, which can be used to track your habits and movements. And you can buy services that remove your data from the marketplace. For there to be any fundamental return to privacy in America, however, experts say Americans are going to have to demand more change from Washington. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Tired of traffic? How technological advances in Israel are helping to make commutes more tolerable. Israel is known for its innovative technologies that provide solutions to problems all over the world. Now, one Israeli company is taking on the frustrating issue of traffic.
Now, Paul Strand reports from Tel Aviv on a system that's aimed at clearing traffic jams while improving safety.
Traffic, everybody hates it. But one Israeli company has come up with a system to make traffic flow much more smoothly, that can turn lights exactly when needed, warn drivers away from potential accidents, and unsnarl rush hour commutes.
It's an invention of No Traffic, headquartered here in Tel Aviv. When the company is enlisted to take over a community's traffic system, No Traffic puts these sensors at intersections that then connect to sophisticated artificial intelligence.
And from that point on, the system works by itself autonomously.
CEO Tal Chrysler says these artificial eyes then watch movements in and around those intersections.
Private vehicles, buses, pedestrians, bicycles, scooters, whatever.
AI then proceeds to orchestrate traffic flow in order to keep it moving safely and quickly. That's led to amazing improvements in limiting the time motorists are held up.
We've managed to cut dramatic amount. We're talking about 70% of delay time.
With vehicles more computerized than ever, this new system will be able to communicate directly with individual drivers. That could lead to a warning about a pedestrian potentially in a blind spot about to cross in front of them. Another safety element is the system's ability to gauge if an oncoming vehicle might run a red light. If so, it can alert nearby drivers while also changing other lights to red at that intersection to prevent collisions. When accidents do happen, it can immediately contact first responders, then give them green lights all the way.
About 70% of fatality cases happening in the first hour after the accident. So literally every minute that we are saving, literally saving life.
Research shows an updated traffic system is sorely needed worldwide. That's because an additional 90 million cars hit the road each year. Traffic congestion increases 12% annually. As for those lights that hold you up block after block,
the way that we are operating them is remained the same for the last 100 years or so.
And there's little to no connection from intersection to intersection.
Most of the intersections out there are not connected to anything. They just run by themselves.
With No Traffic sensors and artificial intelligence saturating a city's traffic grid, it enables each intersection to communicate with all the others. That allows the system to make split-second decisions to keep traffic moving. These sensors are designed to withstand the wear and tear that comes from constantly being out in the elements. Ian Fountain and his lab techs ensure each piece can stand up to the most extreme conditions.
We put them in the ovens, we heat them, we cool them, we add humidity.
In Fahrenheit, that's a range from -31 to a super hot 167 degrees. Now that a number of states like Florida, Arizona, and California utilize the system, No Traffic has found that in a mid-sized city, its platform has reduced waiting times by as much as 50% or more. That efficiency can remove around 26,000 tons of CO2 emissions each year. That's like the pollution from 5,700 cars simply vanishing. To Chrysler, it's all positive transformation.
Improving our life, reducing emissions, generating massive amounts of time that we can now spend with our loved ones. And I think this is one of the things that we are the most proud of, like literally transforming the world to a better place.
The atmosphere and attitudes in Israel make it easier for an innovative system like No Traffic's to be created here. Innovators are welcomed and cherished. Smart, forward thinking is valued and rewarded. And Israelis see themselves as people who can solve global problems, both large and small, who can dream up solutions not yet seen, but waiting to be dreamed. Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from Tel Aviv.
Up next, the dark world of cybercrimes, how criminals are exploiting AI to find more victims. Welcome back. Cybercrime is expected to cost a staggering $10.5 trillion worldwide annually by 2025. That is 3 times more than just 10 years ago.
And experts say criminals are getting smarter and faster by using artificial intelligence to stay one step ahead. CBN's Brody Carter looks into the growing risks and how you can avoid getting trapped by these sophisticated scams.
I've gotten plenty of text messages, phone calls, emails that I'm quite certain, there were scams behind them.
Even members of the Federal Trade Commission are targeted by scammers they're trying to fight. Will Maxon of the agency's Marketing Practices Division says these criminals fool potential victims by using AI to perfect and renew age-old scams.
Where you can have extremely accurate voice cloning done very quickly. The video cloning has become better and more seamless and harder to spot really every day, the speed at which they can do it.
According to the FTC, consumers reported losing more than $10 billion to fraud in 2023, up 14% from the year prior. AI makes it easier to deceive by eliminating spelling errors, creating better fake logos or images, while also providing sensitive information like partial social security numbers to make scams appear more authentic.
We've gone from millions to billions to trillions in a decade.
And that's per day.
Per day.
And seniors are clearly targets, with a majority of those seeking help being over the age of 60, reportedly losing a total of nearly $2 billion.
My name is Phyllis Weisberg. I'm a 90-year-old widow. I was the victim of an online scam. The scammers managed to get into my checking account. They removed $20,000.
Weisberg says the experience left her feeling shaken and vulnerable.
My first reaction was total embarrassment, that I would do anything that stupid. And all I can do is warn other people and just hope that this will help one person.
Cybersecurity expert James Lee adds that AI is now helping scammers close the traditional age gap.
Today, the target is 25 to 45. They're actually targeted more frequently, and the attack is more successful.
Lee advises taking extra steps to protect against all potential scams. For example, if you get an email or a call from a supposed trusted source, it's essential you take the time to verify it came from that organization.
They do the exact same thing that a normal business does. They target their customers. They figure out, well, this zip code has a higher income level. So therefore, if I target people in that zip code, I have a higher likelihood of getting away with more money.
With artificial intelligence expanding at a breakneck pace, scams will only become more prevalent. While there's no guaranteed way to prevent these attacks, experts maintain that taking protective measures and being vigilant could keep your information and your wallet safe. Brody Carter, CBN News.
The AI revolution. Many industries are sounding the alarm about this high-tech takeover. Now see why some ministries are embracing it.
As many lawmakers sound the alarm over the potential dangers of artificial intelligence, others proclaim its possibilities.
As CBN's Jennifer Wishon reports, some Christians see AI as an important tool for spreading the good news.
Meet Amica, a humanoid robot.
In the future, we can expect these technologies to become even more powerful.
Her intelligence is powered by generative pre-trained transformers, the same GPT technology making so many headlines.
AI and automation can have unintended consequences.
One study suggests in the near future, artificial intelligence could make an impact on some 80% of the U.S. workforce.
Tag Extra Strong!
Concerns over AI, among other things, led Hollywood actors and writers to go on strike this summer.
It's an existential threat. We need protections, guardrails.
Tech magnate Elon Musk recently joined Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak and some of AI's most distinguished creators in signing an open letter calling on companies to immediately pause the training of AI systems more powerful than GPT-4, warning AI systems with human competitive intelligence can pose profound risks to society and humanity. Even the man considered the godfather of AI recently stepped down as vice president at Google to speak out about his grave concerns, telling the New York Times, "It is hard to see how you can prevent the bad actors from using it for bad things." The endless possibilities for artificial intelligence and the devastation it could cause in the wrong hands has many people feeling uneasy about the unknown. But AI is already being used to share the good news that never changes in churches across the country. 1615 Church Media and Communications has been using ChatGPT and other AI programs for about a year now, so we paid them a visit to learn more.
This is the platform where we built stuff.
The company helps churches across the country communicate to their communities with services that range from custom posters to push notifications.
A lot of times, pastors will ask for something where they want to see the modern and the ancient come together, right? They want to see modern construction workers working on, the ark or something like that, or they want to see Jesus with a modern-day family in Times Square or something like that as part of a sermon series idea that they have. And before that would be something like, we really can't pull that off with excellence, where the lighting is right and everybody's in the same perspective and they're all looking at the same thing and it just looks natural. But now with AI, that's something that we can do.
1615 uses a program called Midjourney to make the far-fetched look flawless. Ryan Cook, who co-founded the company with Sharon, explains AI only gets them to about the 30-yard line.
One thing I think the GPT really struggles with is anything like that's kind of spiritually nuanced. It doesn't really understand because it's not human. There's a very human element to the gospel.
A pastor's recent request for a graphic showing Joseph's coat of many colors discarded on a desert floor demonstrates how today's AI still requires a human eye.
It didn't do a great job to start out with. It kind of gave me, it looks like more like a dirty inflatable than it does like a coat, right? It kind of just looks like some trash that your kids left in the backyard.
So he asked the program to view the coat from a lower perspective.
Then it kind of gave me something that looked like, hey, maybe this could be Joseph's coat laying on the ground.
A few more tweaks.
And this is kind of the graphic that we were able to create.
AI played a pivotal role in creating media for a recent sermon series where the pastor asked to show families taking selfies in front of disasters.
We were able to make this picture of a family taking a selfie while their house is on fire, which lighting would be very difficult, utilizing fire in order to get the perspective right, and we're not going to just find a picture of that because nobody takes a selfie while their house is on fire.
Then to the pulpit.
I am excited to continue this Picture Perfect Family series, and so if you have your Bibles, you want to turn those on, open them up.
Neither Sharon nor Cook believe graphic designers will lose their jobs to AI. Rather, they predict they'll lose them to the people who know how to use it. And like anything, they say virtue still applies.
It's not like all of a sudden AI is here and then we just go like, oh, let's as Christians, let's set our morality aside, right? Like we're not gonna use AI inauthentically. If you're a kid who your teachers told you not to use AI for your homework, then it's still wrong to do that, and that doesn't change, right?
1615 isn't alone in their approach. Popular Pray.com recently launched Pray Studio, a new artificial intelligence platform designed to offload time-consuming processes for digital ministries, demonstrating the growing popularity of using AI as a tool among Christians.
I'm really excited to see, what God has in store for us in serving churches for the next 20 years, and it's going to get exciting. I think that's the one thing is the landscape of communications changes all the time, but the gospel never does. And so to get to come into work every day and get fired up about figuring some things out and helping churches just streamline their communications, it's awesome. And we love it.
Yeah, for sure.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Lynchburg, Virginia.
Well, thank you for watching this special edition of Faith Nation.
Have a great night.